Hello there YouTube, I am Wheelchair21, and on today's rolling review we are looking at the Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H.Figuarts Ultraman Zero. Now Ultraman Zero is the son of Ultra 7, who made his debut in the 2009 film Mega Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy The Legend. Now this film also featured the debut of Ultraman Belial, and was a huge stepping point for the Ultra series, as this was one of their big anniversary films, as well as practically, like I said, helped kick off the new generation of Ultra heroes, and mostly it was due to Zero and the rivalry with Belial with their spin-off films, their Gaidens, and eventually leading into Ginga, Ginga S, X, Orb, Geed, and Rube. So, for our figure art, the base box art shows the actual suit for Zero, which is a very immaculate design suit using reds and blues, and a bit of silver here and there. Now, the box obviously features the blue and red aspect of his base body suit, as well as an interesting black stripe through the center and kind of shifts to a diagonal towards your right side of your screen. And then on the side of the box here, we have a nice edited, contrasted photo of your base figure, similar to all the other Ultras like X, Geed, and Orb, as well as Rosso and Blue. And then on the back, you have some promotional artwork or images from Tamashii showing how you can pose and articulate your actual Zero figure art. So that's your base core sides of the box for your exterior. Our interior features a plethora of accessories surrounding our main body. First off, like I said, there's the Zero body. You have his optional head when the Sluggers are removed. You have an optional forearm with the Zero brace. You have 5 pairs of additional hands, as well as one hand throwing up the peace sign. Then you have the Zero Sluggers. You have the Zero Twin Shot body effect, which is one of his signature attacks. You have the Zero Twin Sword. And then you have a spare color timer. Now, this is not as many accessories as the version 2 Ultra Act had. However, it's still rather nice with what we have thus far. And here we have our base figure out of the box. S.H.Figuarts Ultraman Zero is really good, and compared to the original Ultra Act, it's far superior. Now, compared to the Ultra Act 2.0, I'd say, while it's scaled down a little bit, it's practically on par with that version. So if you had that one, you don't really need to upgrade to this version. However, there is one major change, I think, predominantly with the figure art compared to the original Ultra Act outside of scaling. One is obviously his predominant protector, which in the original actually was pegged on, and you had to switch out with optional parts just to use his actual effect sets, whereas in this one, it's pegged into the torso with like 2 small pegs in the front, and on the back, 2 ball joints here. Now, the right hole, or the right peg, looks a little bit bigger than the left, and it's more noticeable. However, with the added points of articulation here, with the actual protector armor for his breastplate and backplate, it doesn't require you needing to switch it off and plug it in, and it doesn't overall hinder your articulation, which we'll get to shortly. But let's look at the base body and details. Like his father, Zero has the protector armor, which is very, I would say, Central American, like ancient Aztec Mayan designs, at least from what I think it looks like. And I've always overtly loved this design, and I think it looks great running down his arms and across his chest. One thing I do enjoy is the fact that because he doesn't actually use a lot of red like his father, and actually uses a mix of red and blue, it looks really great. And I like how, with Ultramen usually having a lot of silver in their bodies that are not like 0 and 7, they make it more like a pinstripe, and it stands out real well, running through the abdomen and the thighs. I really do like that feature for Zero. It's not as noticeable, though, in his pectoral area and his arms, I think, as much as it is in these areas of his body. And then you have his badass face and head sculpt, which is very reminiscent of his father. However, instead of having the Trojan-esque, like, Slugger down the center of his head, he has 2 coming off the sides, being very Hermes-like, I guess you would say, or the Flash, or, you know, just weird random science fiction characters or comic book heroes. And I do honestly like it. It has a really slick design, and it really stands out. It's one of the reasons why I think with Hurricane Slash, I at least like the head design, as well as the fusion with his father as Amirian Slugger or Amirian Slash. So overall, I think it's a cool aspect of giving him 2 sluggers rather than just having the one. Also, like I said, compared to his father and the original designs for him, it's a good thing that they really did not go with the full base red suit, especially when they later on made, Stronger Corona, his upgraded form, or one of his slide forms. Besides that, let's go right into your articulation. So we're going to start from the legs and work our way up. As usual, we have our basic hip articulation, and I really do like how it works on the hips lately. I really like a lot of the joints they've been putting into it. We also have the thigh swivel on both legs, but I'll just use the right for, convenience. We have our double jointed knees. We have our nice omnidirectional, almost like ball jointed ankles, which are really good and sturdy. I really do like them. And then we have a toe joint, which is a little tight, but you know what? No one really needs to use the toe joint as much as they require to use the other parts of the legs. We have our abdominal crunch, which is actually nice. I like the torque to it on this one. It's a little tight towards the back, but towards the front, it slides real well. And then you have your abdomen crunch. Really good, really solid. And then because of our actual movable protector, which wiggles real nice and actually slides up and down, if you can see this, it actually moves up and down a little. It's a little tighter when you move it though, but it allows you to easily move and rotate his arms all around. You have shoulder swivel, you have a bicep swivel built into your actual shoulder. It's a nice, smart move. You have your double jointed elbow, you have your wrist, you have your head and neck, which is really good. I really like a lot of the features of the neck. And I think similar to the Rube design, we now have just like a Revoltech / Figma-like head, so it's easy to switch them on and off when necessary. And since you do need to switch them off for the sluggers, let's just quickly show you what that head looks like, since I already have it out of the package. So this one here, it's more sleeker, it's more slender, it's a little, old school 30s to early 50s serial like astronaut, very rocketeer-y, and it looks real good. There's not real changes except the removal of your basic sluggers. And then you just plug it right into your peg. So you got that down. And then let's talk about our accessories. Now, besides the head that we showed you just moments ago, we also have the Zero Brace, which is very similar to Ultraman Jack's Ultra Brace. However, this is where the ultimate Aegis is stored, as well as helps him to achieve his other forms outside of Zero Beyond. Now, the brace is a little bit of a small, minute feature that could have easily maybe be replaced by just switching out the forearm, but then I thought, oh wait, he doesn't have gloves like Jack, so it would require an entire forearm switch, which just plugs in via a peg connected to the elbow joint. So this is your first accessory outside of the head that I'm featuring. Then next up we have your basic slugger. Now this comes in a pair. They're practically the same no matter which way you have it, and they look overtly nice. I really do like the fact that they're very simple and to the point, and they have a specific actual hand for you to have them be held with, which they slide up and under the fist and the grip. However, you could accidentally damage and or break it when applying it, so be very careful on and off screen if you're other reviewers. And then you have the Zero Twin Sword, which honestly looks like a batleth straight out of Star Trek. Now, I probably screwed up the name. However, I do like Star Trek, and yet I somehow can't say that weapon at all, or correct. Even if I got it correct, I still think I got it wrong. Nevertheless, it's a nice crescent-bladed weapon. It's really huge. It's badass. However, mine has a slight factory problem where there's a lot of abrasions in it, or it's just dried paint, and could easily maybe be fixed with a slight sanding. I don't know. But as long as you hold the blade facing down, or, just angling it just right, you're not going to ever notice it. But I'm pretty sure that I'm only one of few people that have the issue here. So let's move on to the final accessory, which is our freaking Zero Twin Shot. This is when he combines the sluggers with his color timer, and honestly, it's a badass feature that leads to a very Guyver-esque Mega Smasher beam coming straight from his chest. Now, while there is the optional red color timer, it's not really a major accessory to feature, but just think of this nice clear blue replaced with a nice clear red. So overall, these are your accessories, and let's just go in a slight rundown of what it at least looks like when the figure is using them. Now here's Zero holding his actual sluggers in both hands. Honestly, it's a nice feature. I do think, though, like I said moments ago, that holding the sluggers is a little hard to do, especially when having to apply the sluggers into the hand. One may easily just snap and break them due to the fact of how they curve and slide up into the fist. But once you got them, they're nice little blades. However, unlike the Ultra Act, they don't come with a nice little cool effect part that shows him in mid-slice. It's one of the few knacks about it, but let's go on to our next accessory and feature. Then here's a quick shot of Zero with the twin sword. And honestly, it's big, it's bulky. You can't really get two hands on it, but you can at least pose it real nice, depending on which way you want to angle it and which arm you want to hold it. However, it is a little tricky to get it inside the hands, so it's actually held, because, well, the hands are a little bit rubbery, they're a little bit tight, and you got to kind of force your way in there. So be very patient and be very cautious of how you turn it, because you can either break your hand or somehow snap your weapon, so be careful. And finally, we come to Zero with the Zero twin shot. Like I said, it is a very Guyver-esque blast in the show, where it just is a huge-ass beam coming off the sluggers and his color timer. It looks amazing. It looks immaculate. I love this effect. It's really cool and really badass. And I like that it's a very sturdy peg system that goes right into your pectoral area. Honestly, it's cool. It's badass. The only thing that kind of sucks is there are no kind of like actual beam effects to be displayed on the actual weapons or actually Zero himself, like his wide shot. It's evaluation time, and for my final evaluation, S.H.Figuarts Ultraman Zero is a must-have for most Ultraman collectors and Ultraman fans. Zero is a fan-favorite character, so people are going to just go out and get it, whether this figure is ass or trash, if they don't have the original Ultra Acts, whether it be the version 1, the version 2, or how the body's been reprinted and resold with the Ultimate Aegis armor. Luckily, in Figuarts form, we do not have to worry about buying an entirely other Zero body with the Ultimate Aegis, since they designed it to be universally used for Zero or X as a Tamashii effect set, which makes me happy in the long run. But in the short game of things, I am just disgruntled that while it has a lot of accessories and optional hands, it is missing his Zero wide shot effect blast, as well as just a little oomph more to add to the sluggers, like the effects the original, or I shouldn't say the original, but the Ultra Act 2.0 had. Having those effects really stands out for me as an Ultraman fan collector and Ultraman fan figure art guy, but I do know that Tamashii is slightly cheap, and not all fans necessarily want the effects coming with the figures, because one, they don't even use those, or two, it makes balancing a bit of an issue. But I have heavily enjoyed those throughout the years and various incarnations. It's just wacky that we don't really get them now, and I'm a huge stickler for that. So like I said, this figure, I could say it's crap, and most people are going to get it. It doesn't really matter, and I think that it's just because Zero is hyped up, he's awesome, he's cool, and it doesn't help that right now on the secondary market, while this figure's only been out for roughly a month or so, it's been fluctuating from retail being around $36 to $50 to being like $80 to $90. So that's how huge Zero is. That's how crazy his retail release is. This is not a P Bandai exclusive. So I mean, for it to be fluctuating on the secondary market like that, you know this is a must-have item. So nevertheless, if you like Ultraman Zero or you like this review of the Figuarts, please leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to me, Wheelchair21, as well as check out my other social media pages like Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as check out the website, HeroClub.com. Nevertheless, I will see you all next time with another rolling review and or Doyle's DVDs.